I'm Staff Sergeant Josh Hauser. In the news today, the Department of Defense has released the terms of reference for its review of the military's policy concerning homosexuality in the armed forces. As part of the review, it orders a thorough survey of troops in the field to gauge their opinions on the policy. The group will focus heavily on possible effects any change might have on military readiness, effectiveness, and unit cohesion. Secretary Gates called for a review panel last month, and Wednesday the House Armed Services Committee will hear testimony on the topic. U.S. Southern Command has provided communication equipment to assist with relief operations in Chile. After the 8.8 magnitude earthquake and tsunami that struck that country on Saturday, Southcom provided 60 satellite phones, 40 of them on loan from the Department of Defense and USAID, and 20 that were donated to Chile by Southcom. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is in Chile, working out details of the U.S. aid effort there. U.S. troops continue to provide training and assistance to Iraqi security forces as that country prepares for parliamentary elections on March 7th. On Tuesday, Iraqi security forces imposed tight security measures in Baghdad in order to protect a number of polling stations several days before the elections. With the help of U.S. forces, Iraq plans to deploy tens of thousands of troops and police, restrict vehicle traffic, and impose curfews to prevent any attacks or violence during the elections. Al-Qaeda's branch in Iraq has threatened to try to prevent the national ballot, which is seen as a critical juncture for the country as it tries to leave behind years of violence. Overall, violence has gone down over the past 2 years, but attacks are still common, and most are blamed on Sunni Islamist insurgents. As the U.S. troop drawdown in Iraq approaches, more soldiers are preparing to head to Afghanistan as part of the 30,000 additional troops surging to that region. General George Casey says the Army will have no problem meeting the demands of the troop increase.
Our portion of the 30,000 for the Army is a little over 20,000. And those 20,000 will get to Afghanistan by August. Well, by August, we will have come down from almost 100,000 today in Iraq to 50,000. And so we were able to execute the plus up without having to go to 15-month deployments, and we're still coming off a stop loss.
General Casey says overall, Army troop levels in Afghanistan will top out between 55 and 60,000 soldiers by August. Those rising troop levels are causing a construction boom in Afghanistan. Red Horse, a self-sufficient expeditionary civil engineering squadron within the Air Force, is building semi-permanent facilities for an Army Stryker brigade that currently operates out of tents.
It's a challenge. It's an exciting opportunity. Currently, the 5-2 Stryker Brigade combat team is operating out of tents, very temporary facilities. It's difficult for them to support their computers, their servers, communications equipment. We'll bring them into these slightly more permanent facilities, which much better environmental controls, much more reliable power, and it'll just help them better conduct their operations.
Red Horse is building 11 facilities for the 52nd Stryker Brigade combat team, including a battalion headquarters that will give the 52nd better space to support their command and control platforms. Spring is approaching, but this winter has been one of the worst in European history. Frigid temperatures, lots of snow, and now deadly winds. Staff Sergeant Trevor Pedro reports from Ramstein, Germany, where airmen are feeling the after effects of a large storm.
Atlantic storm Cynthia hit Ramstein Air Base on Sunday night, bringing winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, toppling trees around the base.
Our main mission today is to get out and make sure that all the safety issues are taken care of first. There's no trees hanging that could damage government property, personal property, or anybody walking around the base. Next, we're working on the security, make sure that the base is still secure, all the facilities are still secure, and then we're going to move out after that and start doing the cosmetic stuff and just basic cleanup.
Airmen are working alongside German contractors as cleanup efforts continue. Staff Sergeant Trevor Pedro, Ramstein Air Base, Germany.
And March is Women's History Month. To highlight it, the Navy has unveiled a resource for women's history on its website at navy.mil. There you can read famous biographies of women, including Rear Admiral Nora Tyson, who serves as commander of Task Force 73, and Rear Admiral Grace Hopper, who also served in the Navy for 43 years. And for the latest military news, signature programming, podcasts, and more, you can always head on to our website at pentagonchannel.mil. I'm Staff Sergeant Josh Hauser with your Pentagon Channel News Update.